What's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg, and this is another chance encounter. I'm joined today with John Manfredy. How you doing today, John?
I am doing well. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. So I'm really stoked today. I'm having a great day. John and I were just talking. It's been really, really great. And what are we talking about? Well, this is a chance encounter, which means I interview commercial real estate investors. Why do I do that? Part of it is because it's the law. But the biggest thing is you have to know everybody else who's doing the same thing you are so you can find out, hey, so is there any overlap or what? And what benefit do you get? Well, I go through the 5 different distinct motivations that I've found commercial investors have, and I find out which of those really resonate with my guest. And then I go through the Dan Does Deals commercial roll die with the 6 different roles in commercial real estate, and I ask my guest, what is your main core competency? And before we get too excited about that, you should know that you can download your own copy of this and print it out. And you just go to dandoesdeals.com for that. I don't even ask for your email address, which is a really dumb thing to do. You can just go ahead and click it and download it and print it out. But the reason I do that is because I want you to be able to effectively communicate on the topic of commercial real estate. So, John, can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
I am a real estate investor and was an architect in my previous life and decided to get into this game about a little over a year and a half ago.
Awesome, awesome. And is the Death Star some of your previous work? Is that?
No, I tell people that I'm going to keep the Death Star in my background as a work in progress until I get my first deal done and over with. My career will be under construction, like the Death Star.
There you go. Good stuff.
So when you see my logo back there, you know I've done something.
Right. That's when you hit the big time. That's right. It's all about the logos, but you don't want to sell your soul for branding. That's for sure. You don't want to seem like a human billboard, like you right on your forehead or something. But motivations are practically on people's foreheads, and I go through those first because even the newbies know why they are doing what they're doing, and they might not know what they're going to actually do. So these are the 5 different motivations. The first one I've found, which is not really my one, some people, they already have the cash flow coming from their assets, and that's how they make ends meet. And they need to make new acquisitions according to inflation, as inflation eats away at the value of that cash flow that they have. So that is one motivation that some people have for making more acquisitions. That's not my one. My bigger one is trading time directly for wealth instead of salary or wages. My background is in CRMs, so I opened up an agency in CRMs, and one of the problems of making your money through a service or wages and salary is you're paying more in tax than anybody else. And so it hit me like, well, why don't I take my tech skills and I pivot into something where I'm actually getting equity and the tax advantages of that instead. So that's what I'm up to. But most people want to get more control of their time. So they're fast tracking to retirement, or maybe they want to work fewer months per year, fewer weeks per month, or fewer hours per week. But regardless, it's about, downshifting. It's not about the hustle and bustle. Unlike the next group, they're so ambitious. They want to buy their entire hometown. They want to make sure that their great grandchildren never have to hold a day job. And so they're going to keep on hustling into their 90s for that exact reason, so that legacy. But the next group, they're looking at it in a different way. Maybe they've chosen a sector of society, or maybe it's animals or the environment, or maybe they want to send people to Mars, or whatever it is. But they've realized that wealth and having assets is by far the most effective vehicle to make a big impact in society. So those are the 5 different motivations. And John, of those 5, what combination of them resonates with you? What describes you best?
I believe probably ambition would be one. I'd like to chase deals. I'd like the idea of taking down projects. My past career kind of engineered me to be this way. People come to us with their problems or their ambitions, and I create that vision. And so yeah, I'm very ambitious. I like to create products when they don't exist. So I think I'm a good fit for this industry. I don't intend my grandkids to not have day jobs. I intend to pass them knowledge, not money. Money is my wife's and I. That's our money. You guys are on your own. We'll pass down to you knowledge, and we'll help you get started. But that's it. No handouts for you all. Sorry.
No such thing as a free lunch, as they say.
And then help tenants. You mentioned. I think there's a huge issue with our population. It's causing stresses on the market. It's causing stresses in either the home market or the rental market. And I think it's a major problem. I think it's all hands on deck. I am engineered to address that problem. I'm switching roles, but kind of doing the same thing I used to. So helping tenants get into buildings, helping create nice, pleasant renovated buildings, trying to get rid of slumlords. If I find them, I will take their properties, happy to, and turn them around and improve people's lives and address this population problem we're having.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. That's really fantastic. I think landlords in general don't have good enough PR. I think a lot of the bad reputation is not deserved. And the more competition that's out there, the better places there are available to people. So
yeah, absolutely.
The next section, though, is about the 6 different roles. Once again, you can get your own copy of this at dandoesdeals.com. And I want to make sure that you understand the 6 different roles so that you understand where my guest fits into these deals. So first, I'm going to talk about the repositioners. They look at lots of different properties. What are they doing when they look at the properties? Well, part of it is they're the acquisitions people. So they first have to, it's a fancy word, they have to underwrite the deal, which means they do the math. They do the arithmetic and say, hey, is this business, first of all, is it making as much money as the seller says it is? And then they're thinking, okay, well, what changes can I make that reposition the property that will end up giving us more upside? Now, the main tools that a repositioner has, the first one is more efficient operations. They cut the costs, they get fewer Benjamins going down the toilet, but there's more to operations than just collecting rent, doing maintenance, getting rid of the garbage and mowing the lawns and whatnot. The bookkeeping is part of it. And then there's also a marketing part, which is one of my fortes, and that's to make sure that the vacancy rate stays low. But operations is probably not enough these days to make a new acquisition really work. So often they have to get a contractor team in to do a value add, which it really means they're renovating the place, they're making the units nicer. And that way people will be happy to pay more in rent, which is the upside I was talking about. And one problem that a repositioner might have, though, if they don't live near the actual asset, is they're going to need a local. I'm from the internet, so I need lots of locals myself. And their job is to be the accountability piece for the contractors, making sure they're keeping the schedule or something like that, which I'm sure that, John, you have some sort of experience in your capacity of as an architect. And then also the local needs to keep tabs on the operations to make sure that, they're not faking photos and things like that. Exactly. And those seem like all of the landlords, all of the owners, but there's more to it than that. And there's also one other way that the repositioner can get upside is if they have better money from the financiers, so that the bank, the fund managers, all those types, if you can get a better rate, then they can also get some upside from that. But the financier is going to want to know one person who is not on the die so far. They're going to be asking, who's your sponsor? Who's your KP? And the story with that is, if you want to get a loan because you want to buy a 150 unit apartment complex, 350, whatever the size is, if you want to be eligible for the loan, somebody in the fold has to already own a similar asset. Okay. There's a couple other restrictions. One is you need a certain amount of liquidity, and then you also need a balance sheet of at least the amount of the loan. But if you've got all those pieces, you've got yourself a commercial real estate deal. So, John, you've already mentioned that you've got your architectural background, but as far as core competencies or where you perceive yourself most likely to be spending your time, what you got that you'd be bringing to the team?
Well, you mentioned repositioners. So that's an odd terminology in the real estate world. We call
right, yeah, because
we call it adaptive reuse in architectural language.
Nice.
We have different jargons, right? So
nice.
So yeah, when I look at deals, it could be anywhere from a church rehab into multifamily, hotel, what you call repositions, a ground up construction, gut rehabs. It all looks the same to me. I mean, it's all the same ice cream. It's just different flavors. So I'm a real estate agnostic. It doesn't matter to me. They all look exactly the same. I have the skills to take each of those down, and that's, I think, why I feel that I bring that value to a team. Not to mention, unfortunately for the sellers, I look at buildings from day one. I am boots on the ground. I want to see the buildings up front and personal. I come out to my market, literally once a week, if not twice a month. So I know them intimately well. And my conversations start with contractors from the first day. I spot everything that's flawed with the building, and I bring that to the LOI and show the owner what kind of building they're selling to us and why my price is the price that it is. So that's another thing I bring to the game. And obviously that dovetails with the contractor you mentioned. I speak their language. We use the same terminology. We understand. I can tell when I'm being hosed. It's hard for them to get away with anything when we're dealing with these properties and projects, because I understand the construction game pretty well, and I like to do that from the start of the project, not from due diligence, not after the fact. I knew that information coming into a job.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's almost like you're saying that it doesn't matter what city you're in, gravity still pulls in the same direction. Is that about right when it comes to buildings?
Yeah. And I've started, obviously looking for deals after my stint with my mentorship program I started, and if there aren't anything for sales, I'll make a project. Because there is a need for housing in any city across the U.S. So I'll come in there looking at it with eyes wide open. If there's nothing for sale, I'll make a project. I can see land. I can see development that can happen on that land. I can look at building codes and zoning and talk to the building officials and find out what opportunities there are. It doesn't make a difference to me. They're all the same. It's all part of my kind of utility belt, right? It's just what I do.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And the next question we always do in these chance encounters, it has to do with the ideal property. And that's what you really just covered. But just so that you know in the audience and you can communicate on this, when commercial investors are talking to each other, they might ask each other for a buy box or an ideal property. And really what they're asking for in general is three main things. And maybe you'll be able to say some things around these, John. But the first one is geography. Okay, so you're going to need to know the state or the county or the neighborhood even for some people. That geography is going to be very key. The next one is going to be, especially in multifamily, it's going to be the unit count. If you're doing a commercial for industrial or for warehousing, it'll be square footage. But in general, commercial has units, so the unit count is going to matter. And then the third one is class, which unfortunately they use the same word for two different things. One of them is the actual condition of the building. So So is it all messed up or is it immaculate? And then the other meaning of class is the neighborhood it's in.
Yeah.
So what's the crime rate like, and how close is it to good schools, that sort of thing. So that's class. So John, as far as preferences go that you can mention, other than being agnostic in general to the building, what's a really good thing to bring to your attention?
Well, I won't, I'd like anywhere, A, B, and C class buildings. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. They attract a different type of investor, obviously. And, on my part, they require a little more or less work. But, what I won't do, at least not currently, I won't go into a D-class neighborhood. I'm not interested in war zones. I'm interested in areas that are turning over, that are on the cusp of transitioning to a better place for kids and families to live. But I'm from Chicago. I have no interest in driving through areas where I need a flak jacket and a helmet. No thanks.
Right.
But anything that's nearby that is beginning to trend in a positive direction, I'll be willing to take a look at those and take a look at properties in those vicinities. But I won't look at C class in a D class neighborhood. I'll look. I'm happy to find C class in a B class neighborhood, because those are gold. Those are golden, right?
Right, for sure.
Or will be B or C class or A class neighborhoods in the near future.
Right.
Maybe through our hard work, they'll turn it into a nicer neighborhood.
Right, definitely. All right, cool. So my next question has to do with, it goes hand in hand with how multifaceted commercial real estate is, because none of us can be all of the sides of the die all the time. Most of us can't even be all the sides some of the time, but we all are also uniquely suited to help some commercial investors more than others. Me personally, I'm always on the lookout for more sponsors and KPs, because I'm the internet guy, I'm the marketing guy, I'm the tech guy. So that means like you have some sort of systems in place that we can actually work with. But for you, without breaking any SEC restrictions, so no enticing investors if you have any 506B raises on the go. But
none currently.
Okay, cool. So then who's the best person in real estate to reach out to you for you to be the maximum help?
I'm looking for sponsors, people that have been in this game longer than I, that can bring their experience to bear. That's mostly who I'm after currently. Underwriters are great. I do a lot of underwriting. I'm a bit of an Excel geek. Architects have work on both sides of the brain, right? The artistic side and the analytical side.
Right.
We design buildings, but I also take in, structural engineering classes. So we do both. But I can always use quality underwriters. I mean, those are great team member to have. I like building teams, and these are other people that will complement my skills. Operations people on our operations side, another good, valuable team members. I can't see myself moving into operations per se, because I'm on to the next property. I take these down and I move on, and an operations person will be very valuable to me, I would imagine. But those are the kind of people that I seek and I network with, and I try to cobble together and attack these problems in the cities I'm in.
All right, beautiful. And so if somebody does think that you're a great fit, you and I, we ended up meeting through some meetups that I found on LinkedIn. Is LinkedIn the best way to reach you? Or is there a website that's better? Or
LinkedIn's the best way to reach me. Yeah, currently.
All right, cool. And
feel free to reach out LinkedIn.
Right, awesome. And your name is just in the title down over here. But you got to be careful, though. I got to warn you, which is over here a little bit. There's this big, ugly red button if you're on a desktop. It's right there. The only way to get rid of that terrible button, you just got to click on it. If you click it. Exactly. You smash the subscribe button, and then it turns into the gray button of tranquility, which means that YouTube will pay for these videos instead of me.
Right.
That's what we want, right? It costs you nothing. You know, it's all it means is that my videos might show up on your list of suggestions, but you can ignore them.
Actually,
That's okay. I can be ignored, like, you know, especially if you hit the button. But, you know, you've
yeah.
already done me an enormous favor by watching. Just like John, you've done me an enormous favor by joining me today. This has been fantastic.
I've got a little selfish plug.
Go for it.
I do have a YouTube channel for my architectural students that want to learn the software I teach in college. So I have a channel there. You can see my work, and you can also see some of my training programs that I offer.
Awesome.
For the architecture students and interior design students that are out there.
Right, exactly. Subscribe to it. It's free.
It's free.
It's like, if you won't do it and it's free, then like, what does that really say about you? See, you know, when it's I don't really get that hard on people, you know, when I'm talking my own channel, but this is John. It's free. You can just you just click on the thing, and then and it's free, and it helps him.
Helps them.
Right?
I'm trying to get people into careers. I'm trying to get them help.
Exactly.
And then later they can join me in the real estate when they change their minds and they want to, you know, pivot their careers.
Awesome. Anyway, thanks, John. This has been awesome. Thanks for watching.
All right, thanks.
Make sure you 506B me. Any syndicators, make sure you 506B me.
Hi.
Oh, hey, yeah, here's my code. You got your QR code scanner? Okay, yeah, oh yeah, just hold it right in the square there. Okay, cool. And now you hit open in browser.
Okay.
Okay, are you already logged into 506B me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so there's my video. So now I'm already on your watch list. So when you get back to your hotel, you can find out what my core competencies are and my level of sophistication. Sound good?
Yeah.
I love your hat. Real estate's a scam. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
You too.
506B me, everybody.